a look at 1989's Leviathan today. This was released by MGM, and to my understanding, the film wasn't very well received initially. It's definitely one of those stories where you can compare it to numerous other films. It's one of those plots where it's just so similar to other things. Not necessarily a bad film, but obviously at the time that was regarded as one of the film's weaker points. But basically we just have a team of deep sea miners. They come along I believe it was a Soviet shipwreck of, obviously the ship was Leviathan. Inside the safe they find all of these medical documentations just regarding issues the crew was having. Obviously it doesn't take too long before this new crew also starts experiencing issues, and we later discover that the crew had actually been unknowingly subjected to some sort of a mutagen which had been placed in the vodka, which the scamps from this other crew happened to get into, and that's how we wound up in this mess. But yeah, so the first member that dies, we have just kind of like a weird little lamprey type creature which kind of sprouts from his body. It escapes and it goes along attacking other crew members and sort of assimilating them as it goes. Along the way we also discover that the deep sea miners, they're pretty much just left for dead. The company managing them has pretty much just severed ties and declared them as dead. So they are left to fend for themselves. So one of the main comparisons that this film gets is Deep Star 6, which I can kind of get. You've got this submerged group of people and they're dealing with, you know, this psychotic entity, but honestly I saw it more closer to The Thing. You've still got a group of isolated people, you've got this creature that's going around attacking people, but it's just the fact that it goes around assimilating them, I guess, is why it reminds me of The Thing more than anything else. But yeah, this film actually has a really good cast. It's very well acted. You know, they definitely move the story along at a reasonable pace, and you find things out as you go at a reasonable pace. There's no slowness or boredom, anything like that. But that's pretty much the only reason I can think that the film would have been just not very well received, just the fact that it's possibly just too similar to Deep Star 6, which was also another film going on at the time. Leviathan did receive a DVD release from MGM Studios in 1989, and we also did get a Scream Factory release in 2014. So the Scream Factory release actually has really nice features, very informative stuff. Definitely worth a look if you're a fan of this film, and they always have just very great treatment of their product anyway, so you know, you're not really getting junk if you buy something Scream Factory, Shout Factory. But an interesting little tidbit that I did run across while I was just kind of pulling things up on this film was the fact that audio from this film was sampled in the song Reptile from the 9 Inch Nails album, The Downward Spiral. So I definitely found that very interesting. I honestly am not familiar with that song, so I'm going to have to look that up myself. But yeah, I always love it whenever musicians, bands always sample things from other media. That is pretty much all I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.